Hello, it's Dr. Libby Kemkaran for Tame Your Brain, Part 8. And happy Friday, happy 1st of May. And I'm sure, like me, you maybe in your head had slightly different plans for what this would look like this year. For me, it's usually around this time is Sports Day, highlight of a school mum calendar. And this time last year saw me after school heading to the park with a new family that had just moved to the village. And many hours later, after drinking gin from plastic cups with lime, obviously, because we're not barbarians, we ended the night, I think it was 10 p.m. we finished, and our feral children by then were best of friends. And so this year, slightly different. And God, we're all missing our mates, aren't we? And how many Zoom calls can one do to try and keep in touch with people? But it's a totally different world, and we're just trying to roll with it. So I'm going to give you some more positivity and some brain tweakery today as we look at our lovely kittens, as we try and get through this next patch that we're coming into. So let's change the camera around and see what our mummy and babies are up to today. Hello. So we can see our little fat sausage babies are plumping up nicely. We also have maximal excitement, got some eyeballs. So I'm going to be showing you those in a minute when we do some talking, and then we're going to feed Mummy. Would you like to feed Mummy now? She's coming out. Okay. So, in terms of what we're talking about today, I've had some lovely questions come through, and thank you everyone for interacting. And when we look at our human needs, we've talked about the first few. Hi Debbie! And we've talked about all the things that we need in our life up to this point. We're now coming on to the sort of developmental needs, and one of those is growth. And we have to feel like we are more and more each day, that we're better somehow, and we're getting better in our life, in our career, in our health. We need to feel like we're growing or we're dying. That's what we do. So we usually spend our life building skills, growing our natural talents, and working hard on those things that perhaps we're not so good at if we need them for work. You know, Excel courses and computer courses being a classic example of things that I've had to improve over the years. So we're always maximising our potential. And here's the thing, that may not be entirely appropriate right now. So we've been through a phasic response to this crisis. First we had the alarm phase, and that's where our adrenal glands kicked off. We were flooded with this cortisol that makes us react, that puts us in fight or flight state. Then once we've used up all the stored doses of that, we went into this resistance phase, and that's where our bodies almost got used to it, and so our adrenal gland actually increases its capacity, and we actually suddenly are more tolerant to it. So it gets bigger so it can cope with more, and actually it then begins to feel good, and we actually feel more energized rather than panic stricken, and we feel organized because adrenaline charges you rather than depletes you. So suddenly we've got to the stage where we're seeing posts on social media. Here, look at my scrapbook, look at my rainbow in my window, I've made a mosaic entirely out of human hair. So social media gives you all the shiny bits, as we know, and it can't help but also give you a tiny little worm of doubt. Am I doing enough? Am I doing this well? This all plays into one of our human fears, which I'll talk to you through next week. What comes next though, guys, is a bit of a crash phase when your adrenals shrink again, and suddenly the threat level's the same, but you're feeling it a bit more because the chemical release now goes back to feelings that are more akin to panic. So then you feel bad because then you have to worry, well, why am I not coping this week when I was coping last week? And I hate that word coping. And I actually said this today. I was on the radio today with James Hazel of BBC Radio Suffolk, and they picked up on this Tame Your Brain series, and the number of views we've had over 3,000 views now. It's amazing. So well done everyone. We are viral. And he said something really insightful, which is that this jingoistic let's do all the blitz spirit actions is a tad dangerous, because it then leads to this stiff upper lip, which culturally, you know, we're really good at. Now, here's the thing, naming your feelings is really important, and it needs to be something we work on. We can't ever block what we're actually feeling, so otherwise we get this, how are you? I'm fine, which in other words is an actual death threat. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about our topic for the weekend, which will be about how we set our expectations, both what we have of ourselves Because let's be honest, we may have all had at least one moment of feeling not quite enough with a deluge of social media ideas. Some people are so creative and so visible when, even if you're just as creative, you may still end up feeling bad by comparison. Because expectations are based on your belief system. So I just want to give you a little bit of homework as your thought piece for today. What do you believe your job is for your family right now? Honestly, what must you have as your outcome? Not should, just the must. It's a big difference. Have a thought about that and email me if you want to share. I'd be really interested to hear. I reply to all the messages and page messages. I'm loving hearing from you all. I did a webinar last night on money mindset, and I said drop me a line if you want to connect, and I got a message all the way from Australia. So it's really funny in this new age where we're able to connect literally all the way around the globe. So I'm going to grab a kitten now, and we'll see if we can show you some eyeballs, because it's a big moment. We're very excited. Oh, we've got half an eye on that one. No, it's the other one. It's the other one. Yeah, it's the other one. Other spotty dotty one. Let's see. We definitely saw eyeballs. There we go. Oh, look. We have eyes. And I think that was a little hiss, a little bit of like, who are you? You'll get used to the apple sign soon as you get filmed relentlessly. Look at that. So we've got one full eye and one half eye just beginning to open up there, which is amazing. Amazing. Thank you. So do you want to do a little huddle puddle all together? We might not get away with this today, guys, because we've got Mummy already fed because she's very hungry. But we'll just see if we can get them all in a pile and they're comfy. So with your emotions right now, one thing I wanted to say today was that the biggest thing that we need to remember to be kind to ourselves is that stress makes us stupid. Stress is one of those things that... Stress is one of those things that is all about how our body is designed to cope. Libby, do you want to pick them up and put them back? I think they're gonna protest the whole time through. So we've got to be aware of what our natural instincts are and what our body does to save us. So if you're having physical symptoms of the stress cortisol overload, these are not personal failures. These are not things that you've done wrong. They're not things that are in any way bad. They're just things. There's no good or bad about them. And when we understand that, we're a bit kinder to ourselves and we're a bit more aware of what it means. So for us as human chimps, because we are always going to have feelings about being flaky, being a bit overtired, and that's because your brain is unsure what to brace for next or what the next month will hold. We might be feeling tired because your brain is literally burning through 10 times as much glucose as the normal rate. You can't focus because your brain has shut down functionality in your prefrontal cortex. That's what it's supposed to do, that part that juggles complex tasks and planning, and this is your normal response to stress. So if you're feeling incapable, if you're feeling less than, give yourself a bit of a break, because it's probably normal. This is a big focus for us. We're on a narrowed, slow burn, fight or flight state. And the final one, if you've got no passion for future goals, projects or dreams like you used to, yeah, your brain knows being short-sighted is the way to cope right now. So again, be patient. So I'm going to wrap up, and thank you for coming along to this. It's really pleasing to connect with you. This weekend, I'm going to be focusing on Laura's question of how do you wear all the different hats? How do you balance out, and how do you motivate your kids to do what you need them to do? Yeah, good luck with that one. But I'll be covering these over the weekend. We are thinking of changing the time to 6 o'clock. I'm going to put a little poll up to see what people think about that. But do, in the meantime, stay well, look after yourself, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for the next Tame Your Brain. Thanks for coming along.